Academy of Being, because we need to remember how to just simply be. I am being is the realization of our true nature. I am being without anything else following the word being. In other words, I am. Usually our minds are so involved with experience, with the content of experience, with what we are experiencing, that we simply overlook, we forget our being, our pure being, without thinking, without feeling, without doing, without relating, without anything, simply being. That is our true nature. Suffering comes from the fact that we forget our own being and we get entangled, absorbed, distracted by the activity of the body-mind. Thinking, feeling, sensing, perceiving. That is the source of all suffering, because when we forget our true being, our true nature, we think ourselves to be a separate self, and hence we will experience fear and lack. We will no longer feel complete and eternal, infinite and eternal, which is our true nature. So we need to learn to remember, to learn how to remember, to simply just be. Being is prior to thinking, feeling, doing. There has to be me, I, in order to be thinking, feeling, doing. That is the first, the primal state. I am, or I am being, or I am being the presence of infinite awareness. It is so simple, but because we've been used to live our lives entangled with the content of experience, we forget our own being. And by forgetting our own being, we suffer the belief that I am a separate entity, because I have forgotten my true nature. My primordial state of being. So at the Academy of Being, we learn simply how to be, that which is aware of my experience, to be that which is aware of my thinking, my feeling, my doing, my relating, my activities. To be aware that I am that which is ever present in my experience, that which never ceases to exist, that which never ceases to be aware. That which I know, that with which I know my experience, the awareness with which I know my experience, that is my own being. Being is aware being. It is aware consciousness. Learning how to return to the knowing that I am anytime is what brings us back again and again and again to being ourselves, to being infinite awareness, to being. And that's where we find that inherent peace, unconditional fulfillment, completeness. All that we ever seek is to know the nature of our true being, of our own being. All that everybody ever seeks is to feel freed from the limitations, from the fear of death and the sense of lack, I'm not enough. To just rest in the completeness and peace of our true being, of our own being. But at the beginning, the seeking will be directed towards objects, experiences, substances, people, relationships, expanded states of mind. In the beginning, we think we will find ourselves somewhere in something, and that will fulfill us. But that seeking that every single human being is experiencing, knowingly or unknowingly, is always the call of our own pure being. And there comes a time, there comes a point in our life where we've exhausted any avenue for seeking somewhere outside of ourselves, somewhere further from ourselves. And all there is to investigate, all there is to seek, to explore is the I that is aware of all experience. And in that point, we turn around to know ourselves. We turn around to ourselves. And that is where the seeking ends. So the Academy of Being is an academy for self-realization. It is dedicated to the knowing of our being. But in order to know our being, we need to be our being, to knowingly be, because we never cease to exist as infinite awareness, but we simply are not clear that we are infinite, eternal awareness or consciousness, simply because our mind is distracted, absorbed in experience, in what is happening. Happiness is the knowing of our true being. Happiness is consciousness being aware of itself. Consciousness is knowing of itself. A human being cannot be happy. Happiness is the recognition that I am consciousness, I am awareness, I am, or I am being. I am pure existence. So if you're at that point in your life where you feel called to know your own being and to know how to be with your own being, just be intimate. Spend time with your being, so to speak, poetically speaking. If you've had enough of seeking, hustling, fumbling on the spiritual path, in your self-realization journey, if you've had enough of suffering, your experiences, if you've had enough of not knowing who you are, not knowing your own being, I invite you to join us for the autumn online retreat of the Academy of Being. It is going to begin in October 24th. It's only 8 weeks. A very intense, concentrated online retreat where you receive all the information, the basic foundation for understanding the process of self-realization, the stages of self-realization, how to navigate them, the tools that you need for that, and how to advance your spiritual process, how to move forward through your self-realization process in the most effective way. That is, if you no longer want to waste time and experience unnecessary suffering through the not knowing, through the confusion that often the seeker is confronted with on the spiritual path. Not knowing clearly the stages of self-realization, the process, and what tool to use, how to navigate through, can bring about a lot of suffering that is unnecessary. So if you want to clarify and streamline your self-realization process, you're welcome to join us for the autumn online retreat. Please go to the page, to the link below this video, where is the page where you can find all the details about this retreat. Registration is open until October the 10th because you will be receiving some pre-recorded videos to view before our first live call, which happens on October 24th. So it's only 8 weeks. It is going to give you everything that you need to be free of seeking, firstly, and to know yourself as the pure being that you are, as pure awareness, infinite awareness, which is the only realization that can ever fulfill that seeking. We can only stop seeking when we have found ourselves, when we have remembered our infinite eternal nature. And then we learn how to live as that. That is what the Academy of Being was born for. And if you're seeking such a place where you can find the essentialized, distilled pathway, the pathless path, to have all that clarity that you need about how to go about your process and what to use and how to navigate it with clarity, with confidence, with knowing, then this is the place for you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the inside. Again, if you want to sign up, find the link below this video. And if you would like to share this video with someone, please feel free to do so. If you know people who are struggling on their spiritual path, this is such a good place to get that clarity, that layout, if you want, outline of the self-realization process and how to go about it, so that you can have that peace of mind, clarity about your process of self-realization. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I will see you hopefully inside the Academy of Being.